Once upon a time, there was a good old traditional housewife. She cooked, she cleaned, cared for her children and the man of the house, and of course, she didn't talk back. She was both obedient and soft by nature. She was a good woman who always made good choices.
Shut that shit off.
We're good moms, bad choices.
Two single moms
Who said fuck the patriarchy
shared all their bad choices
and found out they weren't so bad after all.
We're experts,
oversharers,
and your new besties.
Sit back and enjoy the ride.
Welcome back to Good Moms, Bad Choices.
I'm Erica.
And I'm Milah.
And it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. Did you guys enjoy our intro music? Shout out to Anthem Music Group.
Yes, I love our intro music.
Me too. Today is a very special episode because we're only 2 days away from Valentine's Day.
Lover's Day.
I feel like you used to hate Valentine's Day.
I don't hate it. I don't really celebrate it.
You're just like anti-celebration of Valentine's Day. You're anti-love?
I don't think that this very hallmark holiday negates whether or not I'm for love or against it.
All
I am made of
holidays are
love.
hallmark.
I've made of love. I don't need a day on the calendar to remind me how I deserve and love to give love. However, I think this is great for people that do. I think new relationships really need this day.
Are you going to be disappointed or expect anything on Valentine's Day? Like any special treatment, a special coffee, a walk, a card, a happy Valentine's Day?
I mean, if my man wants to do that, I'm not going to be mad. But if he doesn't, I'm also not going to be mad. So I've never been mad about Valentine's Day.
So if your man doesn't acknowledge it at all, says not one thing about it being Valentine's Day, you won't be bothered?
No. This is one of those days I really could really give a fuck less.
What did you do? Did you do anything for Valentine's Day?
Do you care about Valentine's Day?
I mean, I'm not a holiday person unless it's like Halloween. So, I mean, I like to dress up. And
I love love. And if it's a day that we get to be in remembrance that we should always be leading with love, that we are made of love, to remind ourselves to tell the people that we love them, then I'm all for it. And so I'm not against it. And I also think I'm really excited because on today's episode, we're going to share a lot of single mom love stories. So I'm grateful that this day inspired that, because reading these stories was really amazing. And I realized how much single moms really need to hear love stories. I mean, and not just on Valentine's Day, just overall. So I fuck with Valentine's Day this year because it gave me the opportunity to read these stories and be, I guess, and be able to celebrate people's stories around love.
I'm just thinking about it. It's talking about, Valentine's, whatever, as we're sitting here in full red outfits.
Well, I'm always down for a theme, bitch. Like, if it's a theme, I'm going to show up. Like, I don't know what else is going to happen, but I'm going to show up for the theme.
If you're just joining our show and you're just getting to know Erica and Milah, that's Erica, by the way. I'm Milah. One thing about us you'll find out is we love to dress up in a costume or a themed theme. So if you're having a costume party, a themed party, invite us, because we'll come and we'll wear the whole thing. Whatever the theme is, we're going to go all the way out. I even do it at certain movies. If there's a movie with a theme, I'm going to dress the theme to the movie. Even at a concert. When we went to Erykah Badu, full outfit, different Erica looks. Mm-hmm. It's just what we do. We like to get dressed up. So
no, I don't hate Valentine's Day. I've never hated Valentine's Day. I don't really care that much. I don't give it too much of a deep thought. I'm not disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, I generally, when I go into a store and immediately one holiday has ended and I already see the fucking advertisements for the next holiday, I'm like, what in the beast? The machine is so crazy. Like, consumerism is so blind to the fact that they're just constantly pumping us with shit to buy. It's crazy.
They're not blind. It's all intentional.
I'm saying consumers are blind. When I go into stores, that's what I see. I see the machine and I see how consumerism.
I thought you meant the machine. I was like, no, the machine is very well aware.
Yeah,
they were advertising in Target. I'm like, should I even say that word?
No,
they were advertising in that store
that we used to go to. That we no longer go to.
They were advertising there, and around Christmas, I saw Valentine's Day stuff
trying
to pop up
immediately after, and I was like, God damn, can we get a chance to rest the wallets, my G? And I boycotted Christmas this year by buying no one anything. So I was just like, sometimes it annoys me. And it's the same with with the men and the fucking football games and the pizza and the wings and the fucking, I'm just like, can we stop to take a breather and think about the shit that actually matters? But obviously not.
I don't know. I'm not mad at the men's in the football games.
It's the same thing.
But it's a game. They're there to watch the game.
I know, but I'm saying just like
it's not a holiday.
It's not a holiday, but it's all consumerism. Like they're
hungry.
It's distractions, babe. It's just it's a distraction.
They need to eat.
People eat every day.
It's your chance to make Orlando food for once. Okay,
he has to eat every day.
But so specifically on that day, that's your day, bitch. You want to be a good wife or not?
Do you know how many days a week that football games come on?
Are you a hoe with hope or not, bitch? Are you going to make
obviously have hope, but I'm not. I'm not participating in the football season bullshit because it's too loud and there's no need to listen to it with volume. But somehow they always do. It's Monday, it's Sunday, it's fucking Thursday. It's a lot of days a week for fucking months. So
yeah, I don't have to. I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah,
so.
It's a lot, and it's also a part of the fucking machine. It's like, let's give them something to distract them. And as soon as fucking football ends, not even when it ends, basketball starts, and then it's whatever the other ones are. And I'm just like, can we get a break from all the bullshit that nobody cares about? Literally, if you look at the calendar, they distract you with something every single month so that you buy, and then you forget about things that matter, like being present.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You got that off?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
That's why I'm moving to the jungle where nobody gives a fuck.
I just want to say shout out to our tribe who showed up for us and just flooded the comments during the Breakfast Club. We were on the Breakfast Club a few weeks ago and it was really exciting. We had a really great time in New York. Shout out to Charlemagne, DJ Envy, Lauren, who showed us a lot of love. It was our first time there. Something that we've manifested for a long time. We wanted to share it with you guys. If you're in our Discord, then we shared it with y'all. We shared it with y'all first. But it was such a great experience, and I was kind of nervous because I don't know, like I just didn't know what they were going to ask us, and like, you know, generally when we've been in like male occupied spaces in that sort of realm, it's been a little tricky sometimes, trying to like throw us off our game and just make us feel stupid and like whores.
Always like whores, you know. It's difficult to be a sex positive woman outwardly and talking about it because in male spaces it's always a thing. And not only that, I realized today, well, the day it came out, is that like I still haven't listened to the clips or listened to the episode just because it just gives me anxiety. And then like looking at the comments, it's like no matter how many times you do this, and you know, in our little girl cave, it's just us and we're talking our shit and we can tell all the things, but then you go out and you go do it with other people and you're like, oh God, what are they going to say? So there's always nerves no matter how long we've been doing this, and because we've had bad experiences. So shout out to the Breakfast Club. It was a really good experience. They asked us good questions. I know you're a little nervous about the baby daddy questions, as was I, but
yeah, it's
the truth. That's the thing. Even the thing about what we do is like, at the end of the day, it's the truth. So if you don't like it, then you don't like the truth.
Yeah. I feel like we've come a really long way, specifically around talking about them.
Why? You think there's a time where we were like not as graceful? Though?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. It wasn't about them, so it wasn't that time. It wasn't their time to shine. It was our time to shine.
I know, and then sometimes when they ask, I'm like, just shut up. Don't ask about them. They don't, like, it doesn't matter. We're here now. But then I'm like, there is moms in our title, so that they're going to ask. So, yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
You okay?
And you guys. I'm okay. I don't know if you saw. Also, we announced 2 retreats in the summer. Going to Costa Rica.
Yay!
Women's retreats. We do actually still have a few spots left for our couples retreat in June. So if you have any lovers, speaking of love and lovers, we have some spots available at our couples retreat in Costa Rica. This is going to be a really special treat. It's going to be me, Milah, Orlando, and my partner, Shakem. And we're going to be it's all about play. This is like a retreat really built around adventure, really built around intimacy, really built around like deepening your connection with your lover. If you're new in your relationship, this is a great place to build the foundation for the rest of your relationship. If you guys are, maybe you guys been together for years and you're trying to ignite the spark or deepen the spark or just go on a fucking vacation. This is it. So make sure you check out our Good Love Couples Retreat. We're going to be there June 14th to the 20th. And you can check out all the details in our bio. But again, like I said, we also just announced two women's retreats. This is our annual summer retreat that we do in Costa Rica, July 31st and August 8th. So make sure you click the link there to come join us in Costa Rica. We're going to be there all summer pretty much.
Options on options on options. Okay. We have all the options. So if you can't make one date, if you don't have a lover, you can come to this one. If you do have a lover, you need him to, do some things, come to that one. It's going to be my birthday, the couples retreat. So come celebrate with us. It's like a quadruple date, but whatever the 10 is. It's gonna be really fun. I'm excited about it, and it'll be like the first time that we're hosting like couples in this like capacity as tantric practitioners. So flexing our sexologist muscles and doing the damn thing and teaching our community ways to do practices within their relationship, which I love. I love to support the love because obviously the world needs more of it.
And we did a giveaway in our Discord or in our Patreon. We gave away one spot to a lucky lady who's going to come on our summer retreat. And if you haven't joined our Patreon yet, I highly, highly recommend that you do. It's patreon.com/goodmomsbadchoices. We do giveaways. You get access to our Discord, which is literally like it's like the blood pumping through the Good Moms community. It's where all of us are really connecting, talking, because social media is weird and you can't really talk to everybody at once. We do monthly Zooms there. We're just really active over there. We talk to you directly in the Discord. So it's $10 a month.
You can find a friend in your city. You can find the Erica to your Milah, the Milah to your Erica, and be like, pull up. Like I hear a lot of women always talking about, I have no mom friends, I have no friends. And that's where you find your friends, because there's a lot of friendships that have been birthed out of the Discord. It's like it's giving 90s AOL chat, but healthy.
I like that. I like that. And it's cheap. It's $10 a month, and you're going to find your bestie. You're going to be able to connect with people. There's channels for venting. There's channels where people are holding space for one another. There's channels where people are like cheering each other on.
There's channels for like your witchy shit, to share your rituals, to share like, hey, it's a bunch of witchy bitches talking about all the planets are in alignment tonight. What are you doing? It's a full moon ritual. And all day you hear like 1111, 101, 333. And it's all different. It's all different time zones. So.
We have book clubs going on in there. There's a lot.
It's lit.
So make sure you check out our Patreon, patreon.com/goodmomsbadchoices. Speaking of the community, I think it's time for Bad Choice of the Week. And we have a bad choice straight from our Facebook group.
Bad mom, not a bad mom, but a bad mom. So good. I'm living.
And you haven't joined our Facebook group, what the hell are you doing? It's free. It's for the moms. It's another place to connect and like vent, because I think the moms need a lot of places to vent, because there's no other group of people understands moms like other moms. There's no judgment, hopefully, if you're with the right mom friends.
So the bad choice of the week is from one of our tribe members. Snuck in the bath on Monday at 6 a.m. to let that rose handle me in a way a man never has.
Amen to the rose, God. If anyone's listening, buy me one for Valentine's Day.
That's a very, very bad choice.
That was it?
Bad meaning. That's it. It's a bad choice of the week.
Oh, she just got in the bathtub with the rose?
Yeah.
That sounds like a good choice to me.
Bitch, bad choices don't mean good. Don't mean bad.
Oh, well,
they can be bad or good.
That was good because I was today years old when I found out the rose could go in the fucking bathtub.
I don't know what you've been doing with that rose this whole time.
Using it dry in the
Why?
bed.
Just dry pussy?
Well, my pussy's not dry, so
I know, but I'm just saying.
It was a bathtub of the bed. It was a water bed.
No, I'm just letting you know.
I thought the hole would like electrocute you.
No.
That makes me nervous. A lot of that shit really comes from China, and then you put it in the bathtub. It's just like asking for electricity.
Well, I've done it.
You have?
Oh, yeah. I think I'm like maybe 75% of the time use the rose in the bathtub or the shower.
I don't know what it is.
Although the shower can be dangerous because bitch, you will fall. You need to sit down.
You need to be seated
because you will fucking trip and fall out of
vibrate
yourself.
Like, Can you imagine? She was found dead.
I don't think there's been a vibrator since the Rose that has taken the internet by storm in such a way. Like, they really did the fucking thing when they did that. Who is the inventor of the Rose? Is it some like strange little Chinese man?
I don't know, but let's find him because he deserves
Why
his flowers.
The fact that it's a him is
or she, I don't
God.
fucking know.
It probably is a him.
I think it's the technology of the suction and the placement of it that really takes it to the next level. And I'm not even really a vibration type of bitch because it's always too heavy. But that shit right there, and mine stopped working 2 years ago, and I ain't stopped talking about it since.
Yeah, I had to stop using the vibrations too because I thought my pussy was broken.
So you haven't used it in a long time or ever? Or?
Well, first of all, my Rose broke.
Mine too.
Yeah, so there's that. I haven't replaced it in a really long time. And then I kept losing the fucking charger for it because it's like a specific charger with those two little balls on it.
Yeah, the two prongs.
Stupid fucking prongs. And
they're like kind of, you have to like make sure they're stuck correctly.
together. And if like one is off, then it doesn't charge. And then you've wasted 2 hours waiting for it to charge and you go and it doesn't work and you're pissed.
Can we bring back the old school chargers, just regular batteries? Shit.
Well, back in I mean, even early on in the Good Moms days when we first started, I was talking about my massager that plugged into the wall, and that thing did me good. Okay, I just plugged that bitch right into the wall. And
I feel like it's so ancient. Like, did you get it from your mom?
Yeah, I did. I did get it from my mom when I was pregnant.
She gave that to you?
It was a back massager.
So it's supposed to be for your back.
Yeah, it had all the different little ends on it.
That makes way more sense because it was huge, and I had no idea why your vibrator was plugging into the wall in the 2000s. I thought, where the fuck? How old were you when you got this?
My mom got me my back massager / vibrator.
Do you think she knew what she was doing when she gave it to you?
Of course not. No.
You said what?
I didn't even know that.
You said what about your baby daddy?
I didn't even know that when she got it for me, I was like, oh, thanks. And then it took me like 1 year to figure out that I needed this for other reasons. I did use it for a long time for what it was supposed to be used for. And then
oh my God,
later
I just remembered something
else. What?
I have a confession.
Oh. Oh my God, why is my mom calling me?
Hello, darling.
Hello, Mom. Thanks for the vibrator / massager that plugged in the wall.
She knew what she was doing. She heard you complain. She heard your prayers. One time I was traveling, and I must have been super horny, and I didn't have a vibrator. And do you know what I did? I used the back of my vibrating toothbrush.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. That'll work.
Yeah, it worked. But also there must have been another time I was traveling. This is like, sounds like desperation. And I went on the App Store, and there's a vibrator on your phone. You can download a vibrating vibrator, but you just makes your phone vibrate. It's not very...
You got to put like plastic on your phone? Like, how do you protect it?
You put it over a sheet.
But the sheet can get wet. I'm going to put that bitch in a Ziploc bag.
Anyway, I don't recommend any of these things. You didn't hear them from me, but just in case you have a 911
especially
emergency.
Knowing all the things that come off of phones, and now
it was a long time
put it into
ago.
Your pussy.
I didn't put the phone directly.
I'm not judging you. I'm just saying, like,
all I'm saying is
I'm just saying, vibrate at your own risk, bitch. Because
tips from Milah. Someone in our group chat the other day was like, I'm going to New York, and I don't want to get my period. And I was like, this is probably not the best advice, but just take a few birth control and it'll stop. And I was like, you didn't hear that from me. This is not medical advice. So if you're hearing this and you need to stop your period, you didn't hear it from me, but those are options.
So I just shuffled some cards. I think I've pulled the last few. Would you like to pull a card today, my
tarot
dear?
Time? Mm-hmm.
Let's just pull a card for the people.
Page of Wands.
Page of Wands.
Should we come back to it?
Yeah, let's come back at the end.
Yeah, well, today it's our Valentine's Day episode, our annual Love Day episode, and I feel like this is a very special year for our Valentine's Day episode because we've had 7. This is our 7th, and 7th, and in previous years, we've been up and down in our relationship statuses. We've been very single. We've been fake open. We've been real open. I've been real open once. And we've gone back and forth between our position of marriage and girlfriend status. And I think we even had an episode once. It's called like I'm auditioning to be your wife because that was the week we were really trying to be somebody's wife. And then we've had other episodes just like I'm a hoe. So there's just been a wide range of where we've been in our singledom and like where we're at in our relationship status. And you know, if you've been with the show for a long time, you've watched us grow. You know, you've been with us through most of our 30s. And so it's like the evolution of it's the evolution of a hoe. It's the hoe evolution. And now we're both in stable, healthy, loving relationships, kind of for the first time ever, that are compatible and make sense. Because before, you know, there's a lot of trial and error. And so we decided that today we're going to dedicate the entire episode to single moms finding love, because there's so much shit on the internet about single moms not being worthy, shouldn't be able to date, shouldn't date, don't date them. They made the wrong mistake the first time, fuck them. They shouldn't date for 20 years, at least till this child is out the house. There's so much false information about saying, like, leaving the moms behind. Somehow, like, we asked ourselves to be single moms, and that was our life's choice. So I'm happy to finally celebrate and highlight the stories of women who have found love after baby daddies.
Amen. Amen. Shall we begin then?
We shall begin.
Okay.
Once upon a time, single hoes found
Once
love.
upon a time, a mom had sex and had a baby and realized
This ain't it.
this ain't it.
And then she said, I'm not going to let all these ugly mugs on the internet tell me what the fuck I can't have. I'm going to pursue other men. And there will be men that will pursue me. And what do you know? It exists.
All right. I was with my ex-husband since a week before my 17th birthday. He was 16. It was always high highs and low lows, but shit really hit the fan when we had kids, back to back, 2 under 2. He left me while I was 7 months pregnant with our second. It was traumatizing. He would take our only car and go stay at his cousin's house, and to this day, he still can't hold a steady job. He came back when our daughter was born, but it was another 2 years of on and off before it finally ended, mostly because I found out he was on dating sites. And the one girl he started talking to during that time became the mother of his third child. The relationship was stressful mentally, emotionally, and financially. Anyway, now you know the backstory. Once I was mentally free from him, I spent the next 7 months finally dating after not having an adult dating life at all. I was 29. I made a lot of mistakes during that time. I was not emotionally mature or ready to be dating anyone or messing around. I would instantly get attached. Then in February of 2016, I was on a dating app and saw a cute guy. Started talking, and he was instantly different than anyone else. We went on a date right away. No talking forever and it going nowhere. He took me to lunch. That same night, asked me to the movies. It was great. So we made plans to go on a Valentine's Day date 2 days later. It took some convincing after that date because I was not feeling his style. I wrote him off as corny and told him I wasn't ready to date, and that was that. He respected my decision. A week later, he texted me about a song he heard. So we started talking again, and slowly but surely, I got to know him, and by February 29th, I was in love. Wait, what was the first date? February? Anyway, I think it was like 30 days. I'm obsessed with this man. There is no one better than him. He comes from a good family. He loves my children. He provides for us. He never tells us no. He does anything to make us happy. He's calm, rational, and level-headed. He's a provider in every way possible. He's handsome and an amazing lover. We are married and we had a baby. He had his own story with his ex-wife, and they have a daughter. It's now been almost 9 years, and everything is amazing. We are a blended family and all work together to make sure the kids are good. His ex-wife is our family and is included in many family events. I often hope that women could experience the love that we have, because when you're in a shitty situation, you think it's normal, and it's not. You can have the life you dream of, and in my case, it was because I gave the nerdy, goofy guy a chance.
That's beautiful.
I love that.
Sometimes you got to go outside of your comfort zone or what you usually date, because what you usually date has historically not worked.
I mean, we did mention this on the last episode, like not going too far.
There's a fine line if you
got to make your pussy tingle, as Milah said in that episode. If your tingle don't, if your tingle don't pussy,
if your tingle don't pussy, and your pussy don't tingle, it ain't for you.
Yeah, no, I think it's true. I think sometimes we are like, it's true. Like, we're so used to like dealing with a certain type of person, even aesthetically, that like we don't even give people a chance, and we often like might just pass up our future husband, our future baby daddy, our future love based on that. So
based on shit that doesn't really matter. You gotta really like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, does sex really matter? Yes, bitch, it does. But there's other things that don't matter. Like, you know, a pair of shoes you hate, you could fucking throw those away, you know, and buy a new pair. There's certain things that just shouldn't be a game changer. And you also know what is not a game changer, a deal breaker. And you also know what the deal breaker is going to be. You know what? Another thing is, reading all these stories, I realize there are so many things about my baby daddy relationship that I literally blocked out of my mind. And it's just so far removed from me that I forgot. Like I caught my baby daddy on Bumble when I was pregnant, and I was like, what the fuck? And I totally forgot that happened. Totally. I just was like, when I read it, I was like, oh my God, that happened to me. But when you decide to move on and you let some shit go, you forget. And also, when it's traumatic, you forget. You're like, it's too much going on right now. I have to have a baby. I can't fucking think about this shit. So this was a nice reminder of, oh yeah, bitch, that was you too.
And I love the blended family, because I think that too is goals. You know, the hope is that that we all get to coexist one with one another. I mean, I don't want to say that's the hope, but it
was my hope.
It is ideal
when you get to a healthy place with mature men. But I mean, obviously that's a lot of times we leave men because they're not mature. So, you know, it's not always the case, but I would prefer it that way. Like, let's all just be a happy big family and go to brunch. But, you know,
yeah.
I'm going to hear the second story.
Yeah, come on.
Okay, love story number 2. I'm in the military and have 2 beautiful children. I am currently deployed and found a man out here that I truly love. It's only been 3 months, but he's amazing. He's thoughtful, over-communicates, romantic, protective, productive, intelligent, a giver. The list goes on. He's also given me the best sex I have ever had in my life. Don't let that confuse you, girl. I've made myself squirt a little, but this man gets Niagara Falls out of me every time we make love. Okay. He's 26, divorced, no kids. I'm 29, divorced, and a lover girl. I'm ready for marriage again and to grow my family even more. I think this is it. Wish me luck. Damn. You're ahead of the game. 29, divorced, you ready to go again? Because, baby, a bitch was bruised. I was like, I might not ever see that. I might be single forever. I'm proud of you.
You know, but love will expedite. Love will expedite the healing process. You know, I think God knew we needed time. We needed some years,
some seasoning
to work on our own things, so that when love walked through the door, we wouldn't fuck it up.
You wouldn't be completely scarred.
And also that the men that we were attracting probably needed to do some hoeing themselves and some healing and some all those things. So, you know, everyone finds love. I mean, I think even for me in my current relationship, I came out of a relationship and kind of got into that relationship kind of quickly. I mean, and at first I was judging myself. Like, I don't trust myself. Is this okay? But love can heal you. You know, the right love can really heal you. So
same. I think I got moved one nigga at my house, and then Orlando started moving his ass in, and I was like, I might be a dumb bitch, but here we are.
Okay, next story. I like this one. My love story goes a little something like this. I started liking this guy I worked with, and we became really good friends. Things started getting serious between us, but he was also talking to another girl. They were just friends, but I felt like he was choosing, so I thought, oh, you're not about to play with me. I started talking to my old boyfriend from high school. We began going out and dating. Girl, leave the boyfriend from high school alone. Boom. A couple months later, I found out I was pregnant. That relationship was so full of drama. He lied about not having a girlfriend, telling me she was his ex when she wasn't. It was just a mess. I remember calling my friend, the guy I worked with, and telling him everything that was going on. He said, I can't believe you got pregnant. I told him, you're the one that was choosing. I wasn't about to sit around and wait for you. He told me it wasn't like that, but I was over it. I also told him how I was thinking about getting an abortion because I was so stressed and didn't want to have a baby with this guy. But he told me, don't do anything like that. I'll be there for you. I didn't really believe him at first, but we started getting close again. By this time, I was about 3 months pregnant. One day, he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I said yes. We dated for 2 years, and then he asked me to marry him. I said yes, and we got married. Now we've been married for 10 years. I know some people will say she wasn't a single mom, but I basically was going to be. My ex wasn't stepping up, and I was prepared to do it all on my own. I just wanted to share my story because I remember my ex saying, nobody's going to want you with a baby. But he was so wrong. Love found me while I was pregnant, and I'm so thankful that it did.
I hear that all the time, including from my own baby daddy. I heard nobody's going to want you with the kid. Nobody's going to want you with the kid. Ha ha, nigga. Let me tell you, that's the number one lie that baby daddies tell to keep you fucking stuck. So if your baby daddy told you, raise your hand. It's like 90% of everybody who ever left their baby daddy told them, you're not going to find anybody with that baby. Well, guess what, nigga? It does happen because after a certain age, a lot of people have kids because they learned a lesson. So don't let that statement in particular hinder you from moving on and moving on. And I read that a lot in these messages, that these stories that we got. My baby daddy said, I didn't think I was going to find somebody else because I had a kid. Because I had a kid, I didn't think I should date. I thought I was going to be a hoe for life. Don't adopt those beliefs because it's just not true.
Don't let pregnancy block you from your husband.
Don't let your hating ass baby daddy block you from your husband.
I just more so mean, bitch, she was pregnant. Don't let pregnancies block you from your future baby daddy / husband.
I mean, luckily in her pregnancy, he was like, I'm down to, don't.
I mean, that takes a very
particular
man who really had the foresight to know this is my partner. I don't care what is going on. I'm with you. I'm riding no matter what. And that's a testament to whatever work he had already done, where he was at in his life.
Clear.
Yeah, because there was a clarity there that he was like, I don't really give a fuck. And most men are not going to never do that. So shout out to the men that do.
And be careful of saying never. Never say never because you don't know.
I said most men.
Yeah,
I didn't say never.
I mean, that's not the first story I've heard like that. Like Tahir met fair and pregnant. So, you'd be surprised. And that's the thing. I think sometimes we're hearing certain rhetoric and we start to believe those things. And it's just like, that's why you got to turn the negative shit off. Mm-hmm. Okay, there's another one. I became pregnant by my childhood sweetheart at 15. We had our daughter at 16 and I spent 4 years being physically, emotionally, and sexually abused by him. Mm. I would have left sooner, but he had convinced me that nobody would love me as a fat single mom, so I stayed because I thought it would be better than being alone. I finally had enough and decided being alone would be better than what I was going through. Fast forward 7 years, my best friend started a new job and invited me to be her +1 at a work event. She introduced me to her new boss. I spent all night talking with him. The following Monday, he asked my friend for my number. After 2 years, we moved in together. In 2021, he asked my 15-year-old permission to marry me. We have been married for almost 3 years now and just started our fertility journey. All of these years being a single mom, I never imagined I would find a kind, loving man or that I would ever even want to have another child. Being loved properly by an amazing man healed so many things in my soul. Seeing him step up and be an amazing stepdad to my daughter healed many things within her as well. This is not only my love story, but a love story for my daughter as well. She gets a father figure and to see an example of a healthy, loving relationship. I am praying that we are able to have a child this year, and so it is. And I can see him really blossom into fatherhood and that I will get to experience motherhood again, but with a partner that is supportive and present. It's beautiful. I think this is a good testament to allowing yourself to put your guard down and letting people in. Because I think sometimes when you get your heart broken by someone you have a baby with, you become so hardened and your walls go up and it's just kind of like you shut it down. And I think even when someone safe comes, it's hard to put that guard down of like being independent, of being alone, and of having like a defense on. And I think this is like these are stories of a testament of why it's important that you always stay soft and always stay hopeful.
Yeah, I think there's that. I think also just on the other side of that too, for the men that are dating single moms. And like I was talking to someone that I know who is dating a mom, and I was telling him like how important it is that moms really need permission from the men that they're dating. Not even permission, it's like security in knowing that like they're safe. I don't want to say dumping on them, but like everything that they have going on in their life, including like whatever it is, like the drama that you might be dealing with on the other side with your child's father, like the stress of just being a mom, like the stress of like sometimes not wanting to be a mom, and like women like us like tucking that away because we don't want to seem like unmotherly because we've made this choice. Like for a man to come to you and say like, I can hold space for all of that, like I'm okay, like you don't have to like compartmentalize those pieces for you, is so important, specifically for for single moms in dating, to be able to be soft, to be able to like allow themselves to open up and feel safe, and also for the children too. I mean, I think for me too, like seeing my daughter and my partner's relationship bloom has been so healing for me. And I want to say even for her, I think that Irie looked at like you and Orlando and Luna, and like she saw this example that Orlando had with Luna, and like how he stepped up, you know, and I think that because she had that representation, she was like she gave Shikem more permission to allow that space into her life. And so like she's loving with him. She wants us to lay in bed with her and put her to bed together. Like these are things that she's asking for, I think, because she has seen it. Whereas before, like both of us like kind of like, you know, tiptoeing around relationships and not really sure. And like there was like, she didn't really fuck with that.
Examples,
yeah,
yeah.
she didn't really fuck with that. So I think it's important for the men to make sure that they are vocally telling the women, the single moms that they're dating, what they're willing to and open to taking on as their partner. And it kind of has to be like all of it. You can't like just pick and choose the parts of your motherhood that you feel comfortable, of their motherhood that you feel comfortable allowing in, because like you're not going to get the full person. You're not going to get that. And she's not going to feel fully safe in your presence. And your child ultimately is going to feel that too.
I think there's also like this, this understanding that like for women at least, that we can't show up human. Like we can't show up with our mistakes. Like if I was in a relationship with someone who was abusive to me and I stayed and I had a baby with them, like I'm dumb. And so I don't deserve love after this. And you don't feel safe expressing that to someone. There is like a defense that goes up because there is so much rhetoric in the world about like it's our fault, and there's a guilt that we hold on to like with our kids and just in general. And I think like men do themselves such a disservice by like jumping on that bandwagon, not recognizing like, my nigga, you have made mistakes too. You have dated some people that you're not proud of. You've done, you know, you've fallen for the wrong people, and you've had a hoe phase and all these things. Or, you know, when women get knocked up, it's like we have the burden of carrying a child. We hold the burden if it's something we fucked around and like had a night of pleasure and now we're carrying a baby, we have to go get a termination. And that's something men will never have to deal with, so they can sit on a high horse and nut and judge, you know, knowing good and goddamn well you pulled up in a bitch raw that you didn't really want to have a baby with many a times. But because it's not a burden that you have to carry, it's easy to point a finger and judge. And I think that men really miss the mark with finding connection, because you're so caught up in finding fucking the Virgin Mary, which doesn't exist, but meanwhile liking all the big booty bitches on Instagram. So it's very confusing. And I think men, when you want a partner, you have to think of him as a homie, you know? Like if your homie fucks fucks a stupid hoe, like you're not going to stop being friends with him. Things happen in life, and like the sooner that we can come together and accept that about one another as humans, as women, that we fuck up too, and like so we feel comfortable to go into relationships and go into friendships and just be with the opposite sex and be like, yeah, I fucked up, you know, like, and this is where I'm at and this is how I've grown. But a lot of times women are like concealing and hiding those parts of themselves because there's no room for forgiveness for us. It's like you've been tainted and you're disposable now. And I think men miss out on a lot of great women because they're so busy thinking they're going to fucking go marry fucking the Virgin Mary herself, you know? And it's an odd thing when you really want a partner and you really want a human, unless you're about to date a fucking avatar or like an AI, my nigga. Like people come with stains. And so if you're not willing to like move through those things, then you're not ready for a relationship. Not a real one anyway.
Amen. Should we read a few more?
Sure.
Okay. I fell pregnant at 21, completely unprepared and unexpected, as I was told I could never have children due to health problems. My pregnancy was lonely as my baby daddy was very abusive. I felt isolated, and the abuse got worse the more pregnant I got. I left when my baby was 6 weeks old. The stitches from my birth were still dissolving. I had 27 pounds in my bank account. but I made it work. I got a tiny, tiny apartment, but made it a haven for me and my girl. The day I got those keys to our little sanctuary was the first day I felt like I could be the mom she deserved. The mom. When she was only 6 months old, I took her to the library and heard my name called over the bookshelves. I was met by a beaming smile of a boy who had come to my 16th birthday party. We chatted and had a catch up, but parted ways as I continued to raise my girl alone. Cut to when my daughter was 4 and I was entering the dating scene. A notification popped up. It was him. We went on a date and fell totally in love. When the baby daddy kicked off one day at meeting my new partner, he shouted, "You don't know her, just you wait." And my lovely man stepped forward in front of me and said, "I've actually known her since we were 16, so I know her far better than you," and slammed the door in his face. We've been together for 5 years now, and me and my daughter love him more and more every day.
That's beautiful. I love a man's going to stand up for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's, again, important. Very important, you know? I think, too, like, one of the things that I'll say about my partner is that, like, even in times where I'm like talking shit and I'm angry and I'm mad, he like doesn't ever talk negatively about him. Not even to me. Like he'll like agree, like, damn, that's fucked up. But I think he's like always kind of holding space for him to hopefully be better. I think that's just like how he is for men in general. Just like the hope that, like, just like we do for women,
giving a chance.
He's giving men like holding the space for a man to like step up, do the right thing,
have an enlightenment.
And honestly, it helps me keep the light of beam held there too as well, because I have someone who's not just going to get into the trenches with me and like go dark,
because I will.
And go dark with me and like have a shit talking storm together. Like,
your best friends are going to do that. But
I mean, there's spaces and places for that. But like I'm grateful that like he doesn't. He's still my protector.
He maintains like a neutral space, because at the end of the day, the nigga's going to be in the life with you, you know, at some capacity. So I respect that.
Like he's still my protector, and I feel very protected. But I also respect that the fact that exists, because I mean, if granted one day there is a time in which, you know, me and my child's father are like going on vacations, group family vacations together, or like, I don't know, that we become more than just, you know, co-parents, you know, there's like still a genuine likability between the two. And like, he hasn't been totally tainted. I mean, I'm sure that he's still taking in all the things that I may or may not say by whatever I've said, and allowing him to have his own experience with this person, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's important. I mean, until something goes wrong and then he has to, like, you know, beat an ass or whatever, but hopefully that never happens. Pray that never happens. I definitely don't want that for me or for anyone listening, because like that's stressful.
I don't need any physical altercations.
That's very stressful.
Absolutely the fuck not. But yeah, I know. And I also like, I think for single moms too, because I experienced this, like, when you fight so hard to protect your child and to have a place and to get on your feet, which a lot of times this is what like prevents single moms from getting into relationships, is that I don't want to leave this guy because everything's going to fall to shambles and I'm going to have to rebuild, and how will I do that alone? And I think that's like what like holds people back. But then you look up and it's been years and you're still the same person and you're still putting up with the same shit, and you could have just taken the 2 years it took to be fucked up out here, stay with a friend, be at your mom's house, whatever the fuck it would take, because I know there's a range of things, because bitch, I went through a lot of shit after I made that choice, and there was times where I was like, was this the right choice? A lot of times. But I think there's like a resilience that's built once you leave someone that doesn't treat you right, particularly the person you created a child with, that it builds some kind of resilience, like with dating, because there's a level of, I just left my kid's father. So if you think you're about to disrespect me or step out of line, nigga, I will leave you quickly. I can leave anybody. If you can leave someone who you had a baby with that didn't treat you right, then you can carry that standard into other relationships. And there'll be times you forget and you slip up. Mm-hmm. But overall, it will take you shorter and shorter, less and less to deal with the bullshit. And you weed it out. And I think sometimes women, you know, you get so scared of like the finances and like what it looks like to rebuild, and you have to rebuild. I kind of sometimes to prove to yourself that you can. And I think that like that is the strength that we need sometimes to find the right partner, like to know, bitch, you're better than this. You're worth more. And then it kind of like,
well, then you attract that. So like, you're not like, if you want to stay in that and, or you want to keep entertaining that you're going to, while simultaneously dating, not all the time, but more times than not, you're going to attract the similar energy. You're going to attract the similar person, and you're going to find yourself in the same fucking situation over and over and over
There's
again.
a level of responsibility that you have to take for participating in relationships.
Absolutely.
You know, you can't like point the finger every time and it's like, bitch,
it's you.
You keep dating the same person in different bodysuits, then yeah, bitch, it's you at this point. Because even for me, like I stayed in my relationship for a long time. Abusive, shit talking, not working, all types of shit on dating apps. And I eventually I was just like, finally, when I got the strength, it was just like something switched on, and I was just like, gotta go, you know. And then after that, there was a level of like, fuck you next, fuck you next, fuck you next, fuck you next. Even when I was fucked up, because I'm like, I've done all the things. I've been to the bottom and back. So if you can't treat me right, I know that I can be fucked up and come back up or whatever. I know I can figure it out. And I think sometimes that's what needs to happen for you to do the work to attract, to like figure out what about you is attracting people like that. Because it is a mirror, most relationships, most times.
Yes, I agree. I'm going to share one last one, and this one's a little sad.
Okay.
This one's a little sad, but I feel like it's important. So I met my baby daddy at 16. It was young, fun love. We had a baby 9 years later after trying forever. Funny thing is, when my daughter finally came, I was ready to go because he became a bum, like super broke, lazy, and just yuck. I tried for a year after she was born and then finally moved on. And then I met my husband, my love. We had 4 children together within 4 years, busy. And then he died.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Single widow, baby mama of 5. Now that's a story for you. Love you, ladies.
Yeah. And it's scary, but it's like life. And it's also like, would you have rather, it's like the cheesy term, would you rather experience love than not at all? So it's, and then you get left with little baby hymns. But yeah. And I think also that's being in a relationship with your baby daddy and calling it off, when you do find love that's healthy and loving and real, there's also this underlying fear about like, oh my God, what if something fucking happens to you? Because I think about the worst case scenario all the time.
I think about it all, you know, I'm dark. So I'm literally thinking about this constantly, but I'm also with the Scorpio, so I can actually say the things out loud without looking like a psychopath.
I feel like if I say it, then I'm attracting it. So I don't say it, I just go dark and spiral out.
Yeah, I mean, I think saying it actually allows me to be more present and more appreciative of the moments that we have, because eventually someone's going to go. Eventually one is, I mean, unless you're Romeo and Julieting it and we're out of here together, like, you know.
One time I was on the plane, I think I was like really falling in love with Orlando at the time, and I was on the plane and this woman behind me was talking to her seatmate, like just a woman she had met on the plane, and she was telling the story how she found like the love of her life, this wonderful husband who had pursued her, and that he just died of a heart attack. And I wasn't even supposed to be listening to the story. She wasn't even talking to me, and I was in the fucking row in front of her, like crying hysterically. Like, I'm so emotional and emo. I'm like, I gotta stop eavesdropping, A, and B, I gotta stop going dark. But I think it's also like a part of motherhood too. You think like, I love something so much, what happens if something happens to you? You know, it's like the human nature to think about the worst case scenario, but it doesn't really do us any good except give us anxiety, aka me. So yeah, you got to just like live in the present without thinking of the worst case scenario. And I think sometimes when you've had bad shit happen to you, you've had bad relationships, it's like second nature to think of the worst thing that can happen. Like, what if I lose you right now? What if you cheat? Because you know, we're women.
I think too, like, I wonder for her too, like if she's like done, because some people like will be like, I'm done. Like, I found my love, I found my great love. Like, that's it. There's no more. That's done. And I feel it. I understand that. I don't know if that would be my story. I don't think that there's like an end for me in love if my partner were to depart. I obviously would mourn his death and mourn our relationship, of course, but I don't think that's what he would want, and that's not what I would want for him.
I don't know if I'll find someone more for me. So I don't know if I would even like I care to try or be like actively outside. But you know, who knows? I'm gonna read today's tarot card, which was the Page of Wands, because it's tarot time. So we got the Page of Wands, and it's inspiration, ideas, discovery, limitless potential, free spirit. With the Page of Wands, you're inclined to give anything and everything a go. You embrace the opportunity to start out a new journey or project and see where it takes you. You do not necessarily have a solid plan in place, nor do you really know where you are headed, but you are excited about the possibilities. You have a gift for dreaming up new creative ideas, unfettered by the burdens of everyday life. Nothing will get in the way of your dreams, aka your happily ever after. And while the appearance of a Page of Wands indicates that you are experiencing creative relentlessness, notice that the page is standing still and his staff is firmly planted on the ground. He is not going anywhere just yet. You still need to take your creative spark and ground it down into reality so it's ready for you to be implemented in the physical realm. You may need to map out your strategy, or you may need to test your ideas or create a few experiments before committing. Hoe a little. It could be helpful to run your thoughts through a filter so that you can act on those most aligned with your broader goals. The Page of Wands can appear when a spiritual path or journey may be calling you. You have a curious mind and are intrigued to see what this call might lead. Be open to possibilities and know that if you have it in your mind, don't settle.
Amen. Don't do it. Anything's possible.
It is.
Look at us, two single moms who literally just started having a conversation in my dining room, and look at the world that we've been able to build. Look at the community that we've been able to attract. Look at the friendship that we've been able to create, cultivate. Look at the women's and men's lives we've been able to impact and how they've impacted our lives. Look at the relationships that we've, battled through and loved ourselves through
And discovered
and landed on. Look at the children that we're raising.
The honesty that we've put on a public platform and how that's manifested and attracted our tribe, our men, our people who truly accept us, because there's no fake shit. Mm-hmm. And we know because we said all the things, even the less likable ones. So be yourself and be true and clear about the things that you want, and it will come to you inevitably, and don't settle.
Yes. Well, my dear, I love you.
I love you very much. Happy Valentine's Day, even though we don't believe in that.
Happy Valentine's Day. And if you guys have any other single mom stories you want to share,
keep them coming.
Yeah, keep them coming. I'm going to put the link in our episode description and you can write it in. We also have other places that you can write in. If you have any anonymous stories you want to share, your secret's safe with us. If you have any bad choices of the week, make sure you join our Facebook group and share them there. Yeah, we want to hear from you. So make sure you click in the link in this episode description. Join our newsletter at goodmomsbadchoices.com. But more importantly, well, not more importantly, all those things are important, but rate and review this episode. Rate and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And hopefully we'll see you in the jungles of Costa Rica this summer.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.
I'm living so good, can't you tell? I went through a drought, that's until I found a well. Made my heaven on earth, I used to be broke as hell. Now I got the blues dancing like Beyonce Giselle. Throat chakra popping, it's power in our voices. Patriarchy kept it in the box to exploit us. Women put the P in power, so it's pointless. They want me to be good, so I made bad choices. Bad mom, not a bad mom, but a bad mom. Get her Zen on, put cannabis in her bath bomb. Walked in, boss was capping, I blew his cap off. Top dog now, I'm immune to the cat calls. Curvy in the waist, but straight to it like a dollar sign. Mother and a lover, intuitive like a water sign. Warrior in the winter and sensual in the summertime. I do it all, ain't no one I need to run it by.